Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I give you guys all sorts of detailed analyses on all walks of life, I talk about people, animals, places, things, sports, athletes specifically, that kind of thing, the whole 9 yards. Hence why it's called The Mixer, because I mix everything up. Speaking of sports and athletes, today I'm going to be doing my quite possibly final video regarding an athlete within the sport of soccer, and to commemorate that I am wearing my Milan jersey today, This is a very old one from I think like the 2011 season, I think it's actually, I'm pretty sure it was back in 2011 when my parents bought it for me, because it was pretty expensive and I was still a kid, couldn't afford to buy my own stuff, so it was I think it was a birthday gift actually from my parents. I don't remember if it was a birthday, but anyway, so that's not the point. Why am I wearing a Milan jersey today? Because I'm going to be talking about a player who not only plays for Milan now, but played for them before, during a period where he became one of the greatest strikers in the world, and honestly, still to this day, he is pretty good despite already being in his early 40s, Of course, the one and only Zlatan Ibrahimović, quite possibly the best Swedish player the world has ever seen, within the sport of soccer, which I'm going to call soccer and not football. I don't care if you're European because I speak American English, so it's called soccer. But anyway, guys, I'm pretty sure you know who Zlatan is, and he sure knows himself because he has the habit of referring to himself in the third person for some reason, so I've always found that to be really funny how the guy has such an elevated ego. Quite possibly one of the biggest egos in soccer, even more so than Cristiano Ronaldo back in his egomaniacal days. So now here's the thing, Ibrahimović right now is 41 years old and he has played for many decades now, ever since the 90s, so he is really truly the old man of sports right now, besides Tom Brady, but I don't know, man, it's been a pretty long career and soccer is much more brutal than American football, so now he is, of course, renowned for his acrobatic strikes, his powerful shots, and his volleys, and he can also score from really long range. He's pretty much scored an amazing long-range goal in every club he's played in, represented quite a few different ones, and also excellent technique and ball control. His ball handling is like at his prime. Like Ibra's ball handling was second to none, man. I think even Messi could have given him a run for his money at the time. So now he is obviously regarded as one of the greatest strikers of all time. But another very noteworthy mark of his career is that he has won a total of 34 trophies in his career. So that makes him one of the most decorated soccer players out there. Behind just Lionel Messi, who has 35, if I'm not mistaken. I think Daniel Alves has more. I think he's won like 40. More or less, but this video is not about him, it's about Ibra, okay? Ibra Cadaver with 34 trophies in his career, so now he has also scored more than 570 career goals, but we're going to get to that later. So now the thing is that the most amazing thing about Ibrahimović is his incredible longevity, because he is a soccer player who has scored a goal in 4 different decades, He has been active and scoring goals since the 1990s. So he has scored goals in the 1990s, in the 2000s, in the 2010s, and the 2020s. Ibra is a freaking monster, and despite being 41 years old, he has been showing no sign at all of letting up, So we are going to be taking a little bit of a deep dive into his career, but also kind of summarizing things because it's quite a lot of information to comb through because this guy has played for a lot of different clubs. So let's just get right into it. But before that, let's take a look at a clip here of Ibra back in his early days.
Och en fin passning framåt Zlatan Ibrahimović som precis i linje med Luke Castle. Här kommer Zlatan. In från kanten då, in i straffområdet. En stenhård och det mål! Vilket mål! Zlatan Ibrahimović, vilket mål!
En osannolikt mål, för jag vet inte om han...
Little did the world know that this kid would become one of the greatest players of all time, at least in my opinion. However, it would be a very painful journey, because Ibra's youth was very riddled with troubles, For one thing, he was born to immigrants, I do believe his parents, no, not immigrants, he was actually born, his parents immigrated, I believe he was, yes, his father immigrated there when he was young, so he was born kind of in a poverty-stricken area, He started playing soccer when he was 6 when he got his first boots, but then there were were a few other things, you know, because his mom actually would beat him a lot when he was a kid. Eventually she was arrested, you know. Then his half-sister had a drug problem, you know. His whole family was kind of like drowning in sorrow and issues, you know, for the majority of his early life, you know. There was very little food in his house. His dad was always drinking, you know, so sometimes he would have to go to his mom's house, you know, and also shoplift for bikes and goods, you know, like he would steal things just to get by, you know. So it was a very, very rough upbringing that ultimately shaped his character. But he was heavily inspired by a certain player named Ronaldo. You guys remember him? I did a video about him some time ago, you know. Because of that, he wanted to play soccer, and so he joined Malmo, you know, and he played in this team from 1999 until 2001, where he did not have a very spectacular career there, you know. In 47 games, he actually went on to score a total of just 18 goals, but the best was yet to come, you know. He was showing that he was really good at finding the back of the net, you know, and running, making opportunities. So he was still rough around the edge, but getting a little better. And when he joined Ajax, that's when things started to take a better turn for him. He played there from 2001 until 2004 and started to show the world, you know, that he was starting to become much more comfortable with the idea of being a first-team scorer, you know. He did win the Eredivisie title, you know, in his first season there in 01-02, and he also scored, you know, in 2004 this great individual goal against NAC Breda, you know, where he slalomed past 5 different opposing players and scored, you know, and that was actually voted the goal of the year by Eurosport, you know, and so he was starting to show the world that he was, you know, becoming much more better as a player, you know, and one of the best players in Europe already. But he was also showing his his arrogant class, you know, his egomaniacal nature, thinking he was better than everybody else and wanting the ball and not passing too often, you know. So unfortunately, he wasn't very popular with his teammates, but he was playing well. There was even a moment where they tried to, I think they tried to boycott him, you know, when he was younger, in a game that they actually, I think, tackled him hard, you know. I saw that in a documentary, Becoming Zlatan, but you know, it just kept getting better and better, you know. And also in Ajax, I forgot to mention this, he played 110 games there and went on to score, well, a little bit better than his first team, right? 48 goals in total. So yes, there were times when he scored important goals here and there, you know, but he was becoming much, much better than what we would have seen. And then later on, he would go on to join Juventus, you know, and he played there in the Italian Giants from 2004 to 2006, you know, 2 seasons there. And on that occasion, he actually played 92 games and went on to score a little bit less than the other team, but still 26 goals, you know, so still pretty impressive to me. I'm sorry that about the pauses here, that's because I have to give the time for the text to show up on screen, you know. So now in the 2005 season, he became less of a goal scorer and played more in the sidelines, you know, as a target player to create more opportunities for his teammates, and thus began to give many more assists, you know. So this is where Ibra started to become more of the complete package defensively, you know, because he was an all-around striker, but also drifted more towards midfield to create more opportunities and give more assists, you know. And in Juventus, man, he really did become just one of the best players in the world, you know, at least in my opinion. I obviously didn't watch soccer at this period, but looking at footage on YouTube, you know, it seems that in Juventus, he was becoming a much more renowned striker, you know, and very slowly but painstakingly, he was climbing the ladder to be one of the best strikers in Europe. And now before we continue, let's take a look at another clip here of him, possibly a goal that he scored around this time period.
Poi il pallone che è stato rilanciato ancora in direzione di Ibrahimović. Lo scatto da parte dello svedese, il grandissimo tiro e il gol! Una rete straordinaria da parte di Ibrahimović esattamente al 6° minuto, fantastico.
Questo è un gol veramente straordinario, un'iniziativa da grande campione, una palla vagante sul centro-sinistra quasi vicino al vertice dell'area, ha preso la decisione più difficile, più impensabile, la decisione.
Alright, so while playing at Juventus, Ibra did actually go on to win 2 Serie A titles, but they were later revoked because of this crazy scandal that happened over there at the time. I'm not going to get into it here because it's going to make this video longer. Just read about it later if you're interested, you know, go on Wikipedia or something. But so, now, here's the thing. After Juventus, he actually found his way to Inter Milan, one of the rivals there in Italy, and this time there were no revokings at all, you know, because he played in Inter Milan from 2006 until 2009, and on that occasion he actually won 3 consecutive Serie A titles, you know. So now I guess maybe, okay, I won 2, you took them away, now I'm gonna win 3 in a damn row. Nobody can take them from me now, you know. He was a freaking monster in Inter Milan, you know, and he won all of these titles from 06 to 09, you know, all 3 seasons in a row. And all in all, he played 117 games and scored a total of 66 goals, you know, and he became a very formidable attacking force there, you know. I believe Romelu Lukaku, was it Romelu Lukaku or someone else? I'm pretty sure it was either Romelu, let me just take a look here at the cheat sheet, guys, okay? Let me just remember who the hell it was. No, Mario Balotelli. There we go, sorry. Mario Balotelli formed a very formidable attacking duo with him, you know. They were just really, really amazing together. And Ibra was just, he became a clutch player, you know, and especially in the Derby della Madonia, which is, you know, against Milan, you know, with their crosstown rivals. So he became a much more formidable force, you know, kept getting new contract renewals, you know, then other players came in, you know, like Adriano over as the left wing. So there were many different players that came in with Ibra to form kind of like a dynasty, you know, but he was always, you know, oh, and also he finished as the top goal scorer also, you know, in 08-09. So he was just scoring goal after goal after goal after goal, you know, and this is where we started to see that he really truly was becoming a renowned striker, you know. And you know, at this point here in Inter, some people could say that he really had reached the peak of his career at the time, you know, but it wasn't very peakful because later on he decided to sign for Spanish giants Barcelona, where he played from 2009 until 2011. And the reason that his stint there was cut short, you know, was because despite being one of the world's most expensive transfers at the time and being like one of the most welcome additions to the dynasty with Xavi and Iniesta, Messi, you know, I think even Thierry Henry played a bit there at time, you know, so there were a lot of players that he himself also praised, you know, Piqué and Puyol, so he was really excited to play for them, you know, and he did actually amass 46 games in total, you know, within which he went on to score 22 goals in total. However, unfortunately, despite, you know, I do believe there was also an injury that sidelined him for a while, you know, so he didn't get too many opportunities, but the ones that he did get, unfortunately, he blew because he and coach Pep Guardiola famously did not get along, you know. There were moments where they would yell at each other and curse the other, you know. I think Ibra even threw something at him in the locker room once, you know. So it got really crazy, man, you know. So they argued way too much, and it's not a good idea for a player to argue with the coach because it's never going to work out for you, you know. And Ibra has always been an egomaniacal freak, you know, always referring to himself in the third person, thinking he's better than everybody else, you know, and very, very seldom getting along with his teammates, you know, because he's always going to want the ball. He was the classic number 9 striker, but you have Messi on the team scoring the majority of the team's goals every season, man, you know, so it was really hard. So Pep Guardiola had enough of him and loaned him out to Milan, you know. So now here's the thing, Ibra played at AC Milan from 2011 to 2012, although technically he was loaned there in 2010, so maybe you could say that he also played there from 2010 to 2012, I don't know, but officially as an actual signing it started in 2011, you know, so then they reached the agreement, he was loaned there and officially signed in 2011, and already in his debut season he won a Supercoppa Italiana and the Serie A title, so, you know, establishing himself as a top goal scorer, you know. I actually saw Ibra at his physical peak in Milan, you know, where he played 85 goals in total in his he played 85 games there in total during his first stint there, going on to score 56 goals in total, you know. And this is where he really became the Ibra Cadabra that a lot of people know and love, you know, scoring so many goals, you know, very clutch moments as well, and being such a renowned class striker, you know. Ibra in Milan, this is the season that I saw him play, you know, this jersey here. I saw many games live and saw that he was just indispensable, man, taking Milan as far as the Champions League knockout stage, you know, and also giving them so many titles. And he was the classic, he was the number 11 shirt there, you know, so kind of adapting more of like a center forward attacking midfielder role at times, you know, but always there in the center of the box waiting to get the ball and score the goal and giving a few assists, you know. Ibra truly was at the top of his world, at the top of the world. In my personal opinion, he was at his physical peak at Milan despite not having had as much success, you know, collectively as he did. But to me, his best period was in Milan, you know, between 2010 and 2012, you know. I will take that to my grave. And I will show you guys a clip here, possibly from his Milan days, to make the transition to the next part of the video. already. And now we get to one of the biggest clubs in the world right now, thanks to so many players like, for example, Ibra, who played there in recent years, you know. Now, Ibrahimović spent the majority of his career in this specific club here, Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, you know, from 2012 to 2016, where he truly became a monster. Like I said, my personal favorite phase of Ibra was in Milan, where I thought he was at his best, but you can't deny his success and growth as a player, much more so collectively in PSG, you know, because there he played 180 freaking games and went on to score a staggering 156 goals throughout his time there, you know, which actually led him to become the all-time leading scorer at the time, you know. I'm pretty sure that somebody has already broken that now. Maybe it's Neymar, maybe Mbappe, I don't know, but it's been broken already, you know. So now when he got there, he led PSG to their first league title, you know, their first League One title in 19 freaking years, man, scoring nearly a goal in every single game, you know. So Ibra was really unstoppable at PSG, you know, showing off his acrobatic moves and really strong long shots, you know. Like Ibra could score from free kicks, penalties, headers, you know, right foot, left foot, volleys, regular from inside the box, outside of the box. You could not stop Ibra, you know. There was even this meme moment where the keeper was going to, I believe it was at PSG, right, where the keeper was going to put the ball back in play, and then Ibra came up behind him and tapped it, you know, grabbed over the keeper and scored the goal. I don't think it was allowed, but it was still funny, you know. Like Ibra wants to score a goal, he's gonna score a goal, man, you know. So now here's the thing, he also won four consecutive League One titles while at PSG, so literally a title in every single he played in, you know, and he was the top scorer for 3 of those seasons, man. So Ibra is freaking insane, dude. Ibrahimović, I mean, you can't, man. You cannot touch Ibra, you know. I played with him and scored so many goals in FIFA, man, you know, because I always like to play with PSG. Players like Ibrahimović and David Beckham as well were kind of the reason why I started to grow more, PSG started to grow more on me, you know, players with a big name like that. So in recent years, of course, we have the acquiring of like the MSN trio, you know, Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, KNB, I don't know what the hell they call themselves now, but you know, it's how it is, you know. So yeah, man, freaking PSG, every single season a League One title, man, you know. Imagine going 19 years without winning a league title, and then somebody comes in and wins you 4 in a row, man. That's crazy. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end, you know, because Ibra decided to go to a different area of Europe, you know, to play soccer. Manchester United over in the Premier League, where he played from 2016 to 2018. On that occasion, he didn't really fare too well, you know. He played 53 games and scored a little bit of a smaller margin, just 29 goals, you know. But the Premier League is different, man. It was really tough for him to adapt, you know, and injuries started to plague him, you know, so he was always in and out of the treatment center, you know. A few ligaments here and there were broken, so it's really hard to play in the English game. Not even Ibrahimović could manage, you know, a lot of he couldn't string together too many good performances, but then because of his name, you know, it might have contributed to his salary being 200 euros per week, you know, or pounds. I put it up on screen, but I don't know if it's pounds or euros, I don't know, but it's already on screen. And also, on November 6th, get this, he scored the 25th 1000th Premier League goal in history, man, you know, when he actually scored 2 goals in the game against Swansea City when they won 3-1, and the first goal was the 25,000. That is freaking crazy, man. And he was also the oldest player to score at least 15 goals in a single Premier League season when he was 35. So despite not being, you know, Eric Cantona, you know, Ryan Giggs level of awesome, he still broke a few records, you know. That's Ibra for you, man. And also he took them to the Champions League, and he became the first player ever to play for 7 different clubs in the UEFA Champions League, man. Not necessarily winning, you know, and scoring goals, but just representing 7 different teams in the Champions League, which is an amazing record if you ask me. To me, it's just awesome. But unfortunately, he just couldn't hack it there in England, you know. It's really tough to play in the Premier League, a lot of injuries, so eventually they released him from his contract, and he went across the pond to play in the United States for Los Angeles Galaxy, you know, and it's just amazing what he did there, man, you know, playing in a league that was still growing at the time, but that of course grew much more exponentially because of him, you know. He played there from 2018 to 2019, just 1 season, but boy, the things he accomplished in that season, man. 58 games that he played with the Galaxy, you know, and going on to score 53 goals. And also, his debut was against the Los Angeles Football Club, and he came on as a sub and still scored 2 goals and helped Galaxy come from behind. 3 goals down to win 4-3, man. Holy freaking crap, dude, you know? I mean, and he was a sub. He came on as a substitute. I believe that's where he celebrated by taking off his shirt and throwing it, and we saw that huge lion tattoo, you know, on his back, because the crowd was saying, we want Zlatan, we want Zlatan. So, what did he do? He gave them Zlatan. That's exactly what he did, you know? And it was at LA Galaxy where he scored his 500th career goal and also his 515th career goal, which made him the highest scoring Swedish player in history, you know. So so many records, man. Everywhere he goes, he breaks records, you know, scoring goals from long. I think that some of his best goals from long range came from LA Galaxy, you know. The same thing with Beckham a few years before, because he made it look easy, man, you know. American defenders and goalkeepers really sucked at the time, you know. So, and it seems like the fields are smaller somehow, so his long range goals just looked even more impressive there, you know. And also he broke the club record for most goals scored in a single regular season with 26. So, oh my god, man, Ibra-cadabra, everywhere he goes he just made magic happen, you know. And then eventually he left, you know, saying, hey, you're welcome, Los Angeles. You're welcome, New York City, you know, America, whatever, you know. You wanted Zlatan, you got him, but now it's time to go somewhere else. But let's take a look at another goal here by Zlatan, maybe possibly from LA Galaxy, before we continue.
Here's Dos Santos. Lifts it into the area. Ibra scores! That is number 500 for Zlatan Ibrahimović, and only he can get to 500 in that way.
Alrighty, and now we are all caught up to the present, you know, because so many years later, you know, after playing for Milan, way in 2020, he rejoined them, you know, and is still playing there today. On this occasion now, during his second stint for Milan, starting in 2020, Ibra has played in 74 different games, you know, which, holy freaking crap, man. Why does it seem like it's more, right, than the first time? No, almost, because the first time he played 85, and he scored 36 goals, or has scored 36 goals up until now. There are a few things that I can say for you guys here that I think are really interesting. He scored his re-debut goal for Milan in January, which made him achieve that landmark of scoring in every single one of the 4 decades, you know, so 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and now the 2020s, you know. And in 2021, he became the oldest non-Italian player to score a goal in the 123-year history of Serie A, you know, the Italian first tier league, and that was against Lazio, and he was 39 years old, you know, 39 and scoring a goal in Italy, which is tough, man. It's the place in the world where the soccer is the most heavy on the defense, you know, so the defenders there are just crazy. And then in November of the same year, he scored a brace, which is 2 goals against Fiorentina, and thus became the oldest player to score a brace in a Serie A game, and also the first 40-year-old player to score a brace in Europe's top 5 leagues in the 21st century, you know. So Ibra is breaking records despite being over 40, man. It's crazy, you know. And so with Milan, I have not seen too many games of his here, but he is still a renowned world-class striker, you know, because it's Ibra, you know. This is why he has the nickname Ibra-cadabra in the media, you know. And despite being pretty old, you know, I had fun with him in this video here that I played recently, you know, FIFA 22, playing with him. I would have to assume that you guys, you know, already watched the video at this point, so if you didn't, this is going to be a spoiler. I won 2-2, and I scored a goal with him and gave an assist despite having gotten injured with him in the beginning of the game, so that was really cool too. And so now, throughout all of his club accomplishments, you know, coming up on his 600th career goal, he also has a very stellar career with Sweden, you know, the national team. But I'm not going to get into too much detail there because this would be way too freaking long, you know. But I can tell you that in total, he has played 121 games for Sweden, you know, across many different competitions. And he is currently the highest goal scorer in their history with 62 goals, you know. And he has played there from 2001 onward, you know, so across a 20-year international career. And here's the thing, he represented Sweden at the 2002 and 2006 FIFA World Cups, you know, when he was young, and also the UEFA European Championships in 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016. And he was also given the Golden Ball, the Golden Bullen, which is given to the Swedish Player of the Year a record 12 freaking times across his career with them, you know, which included 10 consecutive times from 07 to 2016, because who else does Sweden have to win this award? award. Who else could even come close to matching Ibra, you know? Like, what the hell? So yes, and also back in 2013, that famous goal that he scored, you know, against England, you know, in the 2013 I think it was the Confederations Cup or something, you know, but basically he scored a 35-yard bicycle kick, which gave him the 2013 FIFA Plus Cast Award for Goal of the Year. That goal is amazing, man. It's considered to be one of the best goals of all time, and honestly, that goal is one that you can keep watching over and over again and you just don't get tired of it. That goal is timeless, dude. I love that goal so much. Hopefully it's the one that I'm going to insert here. Probably will. I'm going to try to get that goal without any copyright. So yes, now I'm going to give you guys a little bit of his career honors here, you know, just to make it a little bit easier. So now before we continue, let me show you what. Let me share what he's won. With Ajax, he won 2 Eredivisie Cups, you know, back in his early days from 01 to 04. He also won the KNVB Cup in the 01-02 season, right? And then he also won in 2002 the Johan Cruyff Shield. I don't even know what the hell this is, but man, that's how the thing is there, you know. And then he didn't win anything with Malmo. That's really sad. Juventus, okay. Well, this one actually, I mean, I don't know if it counts. Like I said before, he won 2 Serie A championships, but they were revoked, so you know, maybe I'll include. I'm not going to include it here. Screw it. Inter Milan, he won through, like I said before, right? He won 3 consecutive Serie A championships, you know, and also 2 Supercoppa Italianas, you know, in 06 and 09. And then later on, when he went to Barcelona in Spain, right? This is where it got crazy because he won a vast majority. He won the FIFA Club World Cup just once in 2009, you know, with the first team. And in the same year, he won the UEFA Super Cup, you know, which is also pretty impressive. I don't even know how the Super Cup works, but he won it, so I don't care. He won La Liga, you know, in the 2009-2010 season, you know, a very powerful dynasty that Barca had at the time there, and the Supercopa de España, the Spanish Super Cup in 2009 and 2010, so 2 years in a row. And then later on, he joined Milan over in Italy, where, like I said before, he did win in his debut season the Serie A title, but also won 2 in total. And also in the same debut season in 2011, he won the Supercoppa Italiana. All right, so then this is where the big one happens. We get to the big one here. In Paris Saint-Germain, you know, like I said, he spent 4 years there, and he won, like I said, I'm just repeating myself here, 4 consecutive League One titles, you know, throughout his time there. Very successful run, if you ask me. And also the Coupe de France, you know, I'm guessing the French Cup, you know, 2 of those, you know, consecutively from 2014 to 2016. And also he won this thing called the Coupe de la Ligue. I don't know what this is, but he won 3 of them, you know, from 2013, also consecutively. God, he won everything consecutively, man. It's like me playing FIFA on the easiest difficulty from 2013 to 2016. Then the Trophée del Champions. I have no idea what the hell this is, but it's what Messi won recently, you know. And again, 3 consecutive of these, man. Holy crap, 3 of these trophies in a row. Okay, so then later on, he went to Manchester United. Not a very successful run there, but he did still win the UEFA Europa League in 2016 and 2017, you know. And also because he was scoring goals and playing well, he also helped them to win the EFL Cup in the same year, 2016-2017. And also he won in the inaugural season the FA Community Shield in 2016. And that is it for his club accomplishment. His club accomplishments. I'm not going to read individual stuff because this guy has way too many individual. Man, Ibra has 11 Ballon d'Or nominations, man. Never won the damn thing. That is really unfair. Let's take a look at a goal that he scored for the national team. Hopefully the one that I mentioned before with the bicycle kick, but if not, anything else.
Ibrahimović kan göra 4 mål. Ja, det är inte helt otänkbart, för nu är Johart ute och det blir mål! Det blir mål! Det är det värsta jag har sett! Det är inte klokt! Han cyklar in den där från 25 meter!
Ooh, oh boy, this is getting exhausting. This is getting exhausting. These videos always get so tiring. That's why it's probably going to be the last one, at least within this sport here, because I can't take it anymore. I like doing these videos. I like putting in the research, making cheat sheet and give you guys info, but still. So now Ibrahimović did eventually retire with the Swedish national team, but then later came back, you know. So now throughout now his entire career in total, Ibrahimović has, at the time of recording this video, I really hope it's accurate because I went through so much detail here researching it. He has played a total of 983 career games, and you know, for club and country, and throughout all of those, he has scored exactly 572 goals. If I find out that this is incorrect while I'm editing, I'm gonna be really freaking pissed, man, because I had to go through so many articles, you know. The hell. Had to comb through so many articles to find it, you know. But anyway, so now a little bit about his style of play so we can wrap it up, you know. I'm going to be reading directly from the source here, you know, because I have a lot of information here. So there are different sources that tell us different things. So basically, Ibra has been described as good in the air, quick, tall, strong, and agile, playing well in the back. He plays well with his back to the goal and boosts, you know, his finishing, vision, passing, ball control, you know, so it helps him a lot. Versatile, well-rounded attacker, especially from a tactical standpoint, you know. He can play pretty much anywhere from the front line. So like I said before, attacker, central attacker, forward, attacking midfielder, you know. So he is most often deployed as a striker, but he can create goal opportunities for his teammates. You know, he does have a lot of assists, and he has also functioned more as a creative playmaking role at times, and also a supporting forward or a number 10, you know, mostly later in his career, you know. So because age is a factor in sports, you know, he did lose a lot of his pace and stamina as he got older, but this allowed him to drop back into a deeper position, which lets him pick up the ball more when he can use his technical ability and his vision and passing to create space and opportunities for teammates, you know. So this is both with Sweden national team and clubs, you know. So yes, and you know, he's also very, very accurate in penalties and dead balls, you know, so because of his height and his strength, he can jump really high to head the ball. Ibra has a very rare mixture of, you know, buffness, you know, a lot of physical strength, being muscular, big, and also fast, you know, so it's really hard for him not to win aerial challenges, you know. He can also function as a target man because of his large stature. His athleticism and ability in the air has also seen him score many different volleys across his career, you know. He also has a black belt on Taekwondo, which explains why he is so acrobatic, you know. It's really freaking crazy. So a lot of good technique and ball control despite his size, you know. He can also retain possession, link up with other players, you know, and dribble really well too. Like I said, in his prime, dude, Ibra was freaking crazy. Not exactly exceptionally gifted in speed, you know, across long distances, but over shorter distances, you know, he could run really quickly. So yes, quick player, fast sprinter, you know, a lot of acceleration in his youth. So yes, and here we go. A lot of prolific goal scoring and consistency, spectacular strikes, you know. In his prime, he was considered to be one of the best players in the world, and I don't know how the hell he never won a Ballon d'Or. Given his age, I don't think he will now unless they really bring down the criteria for it, you know. But still, to me, he is not only one of the best strikers of this generation, but also of all time, you know. So yes, what else? He has drawn a lot of controversy, you know, throughout his career because he's very, very aggressive towards other players. He very infamously fights with coaches and even like hits his other teammates. Like he will literally strangle, punch, or kick or shove other teammates, you know, sometimes during matches but especially in training where he asks for the ball, you know, being a ball hog. On the field, he does give a lot of assists, but in practice, he always wants to be the best. He's really full of himself, you know. He was sent off for many matches and also booked many fines for hitting, like literally physically like attacking other teammates, you know, like kicking them, abusing them. So yes, and also he came under fire because he made a very controversial comment about the women's Swedish national team, you know, basically downplaying the importance of the women's national team and kind of like saying outright that, you know, women are a lot better. There was also an incident of racism too with this other player, you know, where apparently he told him to go do some voodoo stuff and called him a donkey, you know, despite later saying that he wasn't racist. But it's really hard, man. But despite the controversies, Ibrahimović will always be Ibrahimović, you know. So to me, it really doesn't reflect too poorly, you know, his violent incidents and his code of conduct. But it's still, man, I really like him a lot. There was even a statue of him unveiled in Malmo in 2019, you know, but later on he invested, you know, in the rival clubs, you know, so the fans vandalized the statue, spray painted it and set fire to it, you know, but it was later on removed. It was crazy, dude, you know, a lot of stuff here. But still, I really like Ibrahimović, you know, to me one of the best players that I've ever seen, you know, not just in this generation but ever. And when he retires, I will definitely put him on my top 10 players, you know, of all time, because I usually wait for them to retire first because it makes it easier. But we'll see. Let's see what happens, you know, when that video comes out. Oh my god, I'm really tired, guys. This video is almost the length of the Ronaldo one. I can't take it anymore. I'm really exhausted, you know, so I'm gonna end it here. Let me know in the comments below if you're a fan of Weber, what you think about him and what you thought of this video in particular. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the goals and the statistics and this and that, you know. And yes, if you happen to indeed like it, please go ahead and give it a like and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, do as well, hit the notification bell so you can know exactly what time I upload, because it's all good, guys. I am exhausted. Gotta go have lunch and watch a movie or something now because damn. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video, and hopefully one day I will meet Zlatan and ask him why he refers to himself in the damn first person. You know, one time somebody asked him what he was going to give a gift for his girlfriend, and he said nothing. She already has the Zlatan. Oh boy, freaking Ibrahimović, man. Roll the third person outro screen.